When Auburn went and claimed 7 new national titles in 2025, I made a video on it and how legit I feel each one of those were. And then, of course, Alabama came to mind. Then I started to wonder, who else is worth a deeper look? My answer? Everyone. So that's exactly what the hell I'm going to do. I'm doing a video on every team that has ever claimed a national championship. Let's get chronic. Prior to the college football playoffs and BCS national title game, we relied only on the polls to determine the national champion, despite the Bowl Coalition's attempts to better things for a few years. The polling system failed many times, with as many as 4 to 6 teams in contention that never even played each other. This often resulted in many split national championship years. Go back a few more years to 1965. Prior to that year, some polls voted on their national champions before the bowl games were even played and then saw their champion lose the final game. Go back even further. In 1936, the AP poll is created and is often the most respected poll for many years to come. But prior to that, we have a wild, lawless 67 years of college football where many or no teams called themselves national champions, and a lot of these teams didn't claim national titles in this era until more modern polls and systems went back and retroactively named them national champions. Confused yet? You should be. While the AP poll is often the benchmark for a champion from 1936 to 1998, I would still argue that point. If the AP named you champion and nobody else did, that smells a bit fishy. Personally, I tend to side with what a majority of the polls say. So if the AP poll says you're the champ, but like 11 others don't, I rethink the situation. And that's just me. You are free to do or think whatever you like. And of course, any titles won through the playoffs or BCS national title game are automatically 100% legit from the start of the video, even if you disagree with the selection committee. And on the flip side, any that claim a separate title outside of those parameters are ultimately complete bullshit, whether the selection committee screwed that team or not. History is history, and I respect that fact. For the purposes of this channel, I'm only going to go by what the school actually claims. I have broken my tiers into 4 sections: 100% legit, debatable but fair, I see your argument but no, and then just complete bullshit. In this one, and with the first few I post, we're going to lump some together that only claim one. UCLA claims the 1954 national championship. The Bruins that season began with high expectations, being ranked number 8 from the start. They went through the schedule undefeated at 9-0, beating the likes of number 6 Maryland 12-7 and number 7 USC 34-0, and won the Pacific Coast Conference. They outscored all opponents by a combined 367-40, including 5 shutouts. The team was named national champions by the coaches poll and FWAA. But wait, what about the almighty AP? The AP picked Ohio State, so let's have a look at them and compare before I make a final call. Ohio State began the season unranked but quickly climbed. The Buckeyes beat number 18 Cal, number 13 Iowa, number 2 Wisconsin, number 20 Pitt, and number 12 Michigan in the regular season, and then defeated number 17 USC in the Rose Bowl to finish 10-0. Now to compare, one thing is obvious: Ohio State had a much tougher schedule, so that's a huge selling point. Next, let's check the common opponents. Both teams played Cal, with OSU winning by 8 and UCLA winning by 21. Both teams also played USC back-to-back, I might add. OSU won by 13 and UCLA won by 34. In common opponents, it's clear that UCLA wins that comparison. Now, if you know anything about college football history, you'll know that the Rose Bowl was very often played between the Big Ten champ and the Pac-10 champ, or any number of their predecessor conferences. Why didn't we just get number 1 versus number 2 in the Rose Bowl for the easy solution? You won't believe this bullshit. The Rose Bowl, for whatever reason, had a horrible no-repeat rule, with the Bruins appearing the season before. This rule would end for the Pacific in 1959 and the Big Ten in 1972. Due to common opponents alone, I have to believe that UCLA would have won that game, but that's all speculation. So where do I view UCLA's 1954 title claim? They were ultimately robbed of a chance to prove it on the field because of an atrocious rule. This season is rightfully agreed upon as an even split, and you really can't discredit either team over the other. But I say, given all this info, 1954 UCLA is 100% legit. And yes, so is Ohio State, but we'll come back to that when their video comes out. Next up is UCF, and I'm sure most of you will know where this is going to end up, but let's hear them out. UCF claims the 2017 championship, and I'm still not 100% sure if it's a joke or not. The Knights entered the season unranked but broke the top 25 by early October. Hurricane Irma caused a bit of scheduling shuffles, resulting in the canceling of the Georgia Tech game. The Yellow Jackets went 5-6, so I don't think that swings their case in either direction. UCF went through the regular season undefeated with key wins over number 22 South Florida and number 20 Memphis, and entered the postseason at number 12, nowhere near the college football playoffs at the time. Alabama won the national championship through the playoffs, of course, and is the consensus national champion by everyone. Where UCF likes to argue that point is that they then defeated number 7 Auburn in the Peach Bowl 34-27, an Auburn team who had beaten Alabama. For the record, Auburn had also lost to Clemson, LSU, and its rematch with Georgia. While that final score does indicate the Knights would have maybe held their own in the playoffs, the Auburn win came too late. Had they beaten them before the selection process, the win might have been strong enough to get them that 4th spot, but that's still a stretch. I had always thought that this was a lighthearted joke through the transitive property, the whole my team beat this team, who beat this team, who beat this team before, and therefore they are the best. But no, UCF actually claims it. Something called the Coley Matrix is the only source they have to back the claim. But the Coley Matrix also has Notre Dame, who lost 42-14 in the BCS title game as their 2012 national champion, so the Coley Matrix should be laughed off. The only other thing is the Florida governor declaring them the national champions, and while UCF maybe didn't get their fair shot by the committee, this claim is complete bullshit and you all know it. Next we have Syracuse, and their only claim of 1959. The Orangemen, as they were known at the time, outscored all opponents by a combined 413-73, including 5 shutouts, and went undefeated on the year with key wins over number 7 Penn State, number 17 UCLA, and number 4 Texas in the Cotton Bowl to finish 11-0 and ranked number 1 in the AP and Coaches Poll. They were named consensus national champion, and I don't think there's any argument here that they are 100% legit. Another school does claim a national title in 1959, but we'll cross that when we get there. Rutgers has been around since the very first college football game and are under 500 today through all that time. In 1869, the Queensmen, as they were known, played in not only the first American football game against Princeton, but the second American football game, also against Princeton. Princeton won the first matchup on November 6 by a score of 6-4, and Rutgers won the rematch on November 13th, 8-0. No other games were played by any other teams. So, where do we go on this one? Obviously, both teams claim a national title, but there's not much to argue. I want to call it 100% legit for both teams, but due to the bizarre uniqueness of this one, I'll say debatable but fair. Especially since they had the bigger win. There honestly shouldn't be an official champion this year, since there were no coaches, loose rules, no real officials, and of course, no other teams. But oh well, go Rutgers, I suppose. Oklahoma State proudly claims their one national title from 1945. The Cowboys did go undefeated that season and had key victories over number 19 Tulsa and number 7 St. Mary's in the Sugar Bowl to finish the season ranked number 5. Yep, we already have a red flag there. Indiana ranked 4th, having played 3 ranked teams with no losses but 1 tie. Number 3 was Navy, who played 4 ranked teams, suffering a loss to number 1 and tying number 2. And then was number 2 Alabama at 10-0, but did not play a ranked team during the entire regular season. I feel like Oklahoma A&M at the time might have a case against numbers 2 through 4, but not our actual national champion. 1945 Army was one of the best teams in early college football history. They had 2 Heisman winners on the same team and outscored all opponents by a combined 412-46, which included 28-7 over number 9 Michigan, 48-13 over number 19 Duke, 48-0, listen to me again, 48-0 over number 2 Notre Dame, 61-0 over number 6 Penn, and 32-13 over number 2 Navy. They were ranked number 1 almost the entire season and were named consensus national champions. It was not until 2016, that's 71 years later, that the American Football Coaches Association decided they would pick 5th-ranked Oklahoma State as their retroactive national champion. I grant you, this was a great team, but I can't even see your argument, and you were never even trying to make one until several extremely elderly men on a committee decided someone other than the top 4 teams needed some sort of participation trophy. I went into this thinking more highly of this Cowboys team without immediately knowing the full picture, but this is complete bullshit. And there we go. If you feel I was unfair or missed a piece of info, go ahead and make your case in the comments. And remember, this is just one guy on YouTube who did some research and gave an opinion. I'm sure I won't change any fan base's opinion on the titles they choose to boast about.
Jerry, just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
This has been College Football Chronicles, and I hope you join me next time.